What if I told you the food in your kitchen could actually kill you? Not some rare poison, just everyday things you eat all the time. Water, salt, even your favorite spices. These can all be deadly in the wrong amounts. Today, we're counting down the top 5 everyday foods that can turn lethal if you overdo it. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your kitchen the same way again. We've dug into the science and the wildest real-life cases to bring you the facts. Ready to find out which foods could be your last meal? Let's dive in. Rank 5. Water. It's something we encounter every single day, often without a second thought. We drink it, cook with it, bathe in it, and rely on it for nearly every bodily function. Water is so fundamental to our existence that it's easy to forget just how powerful it can be, both as a source of life and, surprisingly, as a potential danger. Yes, the most essential thing for life can also be deadly. It's a paradox that something so pure, so necessary, could ever pose a threat. But like many things in nature, water demands respect. It's not just about quenching your thirst. It's about understanding your body's limits and the science behind hydration. Drink too much, too fast, and you risk water intoxication, also known as hyponatremia. This isn't just a theoretical risk, it's a real medical emergency. When you flood your body with excessive amounts of water in a short period, you dilute the sodium levels in your blood, which can have serious, even fatal consequences. Your kidneys are remarkable organs, but they have their limits. They can only process about a liter of water per hour. If you drink more than that, your body simply can't keep up. The excess water has nowhere to go, and that's when the problems start to arise. Overwhelm your kidneys, and water begins to seep into your cells, including the delicate cells of your brain. This causes the cells to swell, which is especially dangerous in the confined space of your skull. Swelling in the brain leads to a cascade of symptoms: confusion, headaches, nausea, and in extreme cases, seizures, coma, or even death. The brain simply doesn't have room to expand, and the pressure can be catastrophic. These aren't just rare freak accidents. There have been real documented cases where people have died from drinking too much water. Water drinking contests have ended in tragedy, and even marathon runners, who are just trying to stay hydrated, have collapsed from overhydration. It's a sobering reminder that more isn't always better. So, what's the fatal dose? For a healthy adult, consuming around 6 bottles of water in just a few hours can be enough to cause fatal water intoxication. That's about 24 glasses of water, far more than your body can safely handle in such a short time. Water is vital, but moderation is everything. Your body is incredibly good at telling you when it needs hydration, so listen to it. So next time you reach for another glass, pause for a moment. Ask yourself if you're truly thirsty or just drinking out of habit. Moderation is key. Your health and even your life could depend on it. Coming in at rank 4, salt. It's something you'll find on every dinner table, in every kitchen, and in almost every meal you eat. Salt is so common, so familiar, that it's easy to forget just how powerful and dangerous it can be. A sprinkle enhances flavor, making bland food delicious and bringing out the best in every bite. But while a pinch can make your meal, too much can break your body. In fact, an overdose of salt isn't just unhealthy, it can be deadly. When you consume excessive salt, your blood salt concentration rises rapidly. This condition is called hypernatremia, and it's far more serious than just feeling thirsty after a salty snack. Hypernatremia can develop quickly, especially if you ingest a large amount of salt in a short period of time. Here's what happens inside your body. To balance out the salt, your system pulls water out of your cells and into your bloodstream. This desperate attempt to dilute the salt leaves your cells shriveled and dehydrated. The symptoms start subtly. Maybe you feel extremely thirsty or a bit confused. But things can escalate fast. As your cells lose water, confusion deepens, headaches set in, and you might experience muscle twitching or spasms. In severe cases, seizures can strike. And if the salt overload isn't treated, you could slip into a coma. Without urgent medical help, death can follow. It doesn't take much to reach a lethal dose. For an average adult, just 2 to 4 tablespoons of salt can be fatal. That's less than you might think, and it's a risk that's all too real. There are real-life horror stories. One infamous case involved a man who, on a dare, chugged an entire bottle of soy sauce. Within minutes, he was in critical condition, his body overwhelmed by the salt. He survived, but only after intensive hospital care. Others haven't been so lucky. Children are even more vulnerable. Their smaller bodies can't handle as much salt, so even a simple kitchen mix-up, like accidentally adding salt instead of sugar to a baby's food, can have tragic consequences. It's a sobering reminder to always keep salt out of reach and double-check what you're serving. And it's not just the salt you add at the table. Salt hides in processed foods, chips, pretzels, canned soups, frozen dinners, and even bread. Many people consume far more salt than they realize, simply because it's everywhere. That's why it's so important to read labels and be mindful of your daily intake. Next time you reach for the shaker, pause for a moment. Remember that your body needs balance, not overload. So respect the power of this everyday mineral. Salt may be essential for life, but in excess, it can be a silent killer. Coming in at rank 3, nutmeg. The spice, often associated with cozy evenings and festive treats, hides a dark secret. While it adds warmth and depth to food and drinks in small doses, it can become a deadly substance when consumed excessively. The culprit is myristicin, a natural compound in nutmeg that, in high amounts, acts as a psychoactive agent. A pinch in your eggnog? Delightful. A spoonful? Potentially disastrous. The dangers of nutmeg are not just theoretical. In 2001, a young man named James fell victim to its potent effects. Hoping to achieve a high, he consumed 2 whole nutmeg seeds, equivalent to about 10 teaspoons of the ground spice. Hours later, he began suffering from intense stomach pain, confusion, and terrifying hallucinations. Despite medical intervention, the dose of myristicin overwhelmed his system, leading to his tragic death. James's story stands as a sobering reminder that even the most innocuous substances can become deadly in excess. Nutmeg has also seen waves of abuse, particularly among thrill-seekers chasing its mind-altering properties. Some refer to it as nature's LSD, unaware or unwilling to acknowledge the fine line between a so-called high and a medical emergency. Social media trends have exacerbated this problem, with challenges involving nutmeg leading to a spike in emergency room visits. Symptoms of nutmeg poisoning range from nausea and rapid heartbeat to paranoia and seizures and death. Despite its dangers, nutmeg itself is not the enemy. When used responsibly, it enhances flavors and brings joy to countless recipes. The key is moderation. A sprinkle in your favorite dishes is a testament to its charm, but consuming it recklessly is a gamble with dire consequences. Nutmeg is a powerful reminder that even the most seemingly harmless things can turn dangerous when taken too far. Rank 2, caffeine. Caffeine, the world's most popular stimulant, is often celebrated as the hero of sleepy mornings and late-night study sessions. Found in coffee, tea, energy drinks, and even chocolate, it's a substance that millions rely on daily. But while a cup of coffee can feel like a lifeline, too much caffeine can lead to dangerous and sometimes deadly consequences. At moderate levels, caffeine blocks adenosine, the chemical that makes you feel tired, giving you that familiar jolt of alertness. But at higher doses, it overstimulates the central nervous system, causing symptoms like rapid heartbeat, tremors, and severe anxiety. In extreme cases, caffeine overdose can result in seizures, cardiac arrest, and death. The threshold for danger varies by individual, but doses above 4 cups of coffee are considered risky for most people. Real-life tragedies highlight the dark side of caffeine. In 2017, a 16-year-old high school student in South Carolina died after consuming a large soda, a latte, and an energy drink in quick succession. The combination delivered a caffeine dose that triggered a fatal cardiac arrhythmia. His death served as a grim reminder that even widely consumed substances like caffeine can be lethal in excess. Caffeine misuse doesn't always involve such obvious overdoses. The growing popularity of caffeine pills and powdered caffeine has raised concerns. Just 1 teaspoon of powdered caffeine is equivalent to about 28 cups of coffee, a dose easily capable of causing death. Many people underestimate caffeine's potency in this form, leading to accidental overdoses. Despite its risks, caffeine remains a cherished part of daily life for billions worldwide. Used responsibly, it can improve focus, mood, and physical performance. Savor that morning coffee or afternoon tea, but remember, while caffeine can be a friend, too much of it is a dangerous foe. And finally, at rank 1, let's talk about licorice, a candy that's been around for generations, evoking memories of childhood for many. Its unique, bittersweet flavor is unmistakable, and for some, it's a nostalgic treat that brings back fond memories of old-fashioned candy shops and family gatherings. But beneath its innocent, chewy exterior lies a hidden danger that most people don't realize. The real culprit behind black licorice's risk is a compound called glycyrrhizin, which is naturally found in licorice root. Glycyrrhizin is what gives licorice its signature taste, but it can also have a powerful effect on your body's chemistry. When you eat licorice containing glycyrrhizin, it can cause your potassium levels to plummet, sometimes to life-threatening lows. This isn't just a minor side effect. It can have serious consequences for your health. Consuming as little as a handful of licorice a day for just 2 weeks is enough to trigger dangerous health problems. Low potassium can lead to abnormal heart rhythms, which can make your heart beat irregularly or even stop. It can also cause your blood pressure to spike, putting extra strain on your heart and blood vessels. In severe cases, this can result in heart failure, a medical emergency that can be fatal if not treated quickly. In 2020, a man in Massachusetts tragically lost his life after eating a bag of licorice every day for several weeks. His story made headlines around the world, serving as a sobering reminder that even something as seemingly harmless as candy can have deadly consequences if consumed in excess. Licorice root isn't just found in candy. It also hides in some herbal teas, natural supplements, and even certain traditional medicines. Many people don't realize that their favorite calming tea or herbal remedy could contain glycyrrhizin. That's why it's so important to read labels carefully, not just on snacks, but on anything you consume regularly. If you have a history of heart problems, high blood pressure, or are taking medications that affect potassium levels, it's best to steer clear of licorice altogether. Even small amounts can be risky for those with underlying health issues, and the consequences can be severe.